When that gets to 0, there's going to be a little thing playing, right? Cool. All right, so okay. Shit. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome inside David S. Ingles Rink for another evening of Yale men's ice hockey here, proudly presented by Yale All-Access. Tonight, the number 15 Yale Bulldogs welcome in the number 12 Union Dutchmen in an ECAC showdown. Well, I'm joined here by Adlon Adams, and last night, Adlon, Yale suffered a tough defeat against an RPI squad that came in and just dominated the game. Take us through what we saw here at Ingles last night.
Definitely a tough loss for the Bulldogs last night, Max. They ended up losing to RPI 6-1 and ended Yale's 4-game win streak. It was RPI's first conference win so far this year. As it seemed, Yale didn't seem to execute on offense. They're having trouble connecting on passes. Lots of shots into Kastorf, the Engineers goalie. Weren't really finding the back of the net. Tommy Fallon scored the lone goal for the Bulldogs 14 minutes into the first period. And then the Engineers went on to score 3 in the second and 3 in the third.
Absolutely, Adlon. A tough night for the Bulldogs all around. They struggled from start to finish. They struggled, as you mentioned, all aspects of the game, getting it rolling and really getting into the flow and rhythm of the game. Well, tonight, they're really going to have to regroup to contend with this Union squad that's been playing very good hockey this year. Their past 3 games have been a little bit more of a struggle, winless in 3 straight games coming here into Ingles Rink, but an impressive 8-3-3 record coming in on the year. This is a Union squad that's having another strong year after a strong year last year, run all the way deep into the Frozen Four, where they lost to Ferris State in the national semifinals. And this is a team that's anchored with a strong core of upperclassmen. They've returned many players from that team that made that deep NCAA tournament run, including the brothers Kyle, Matt Bodie, and the junior goaltender Troy Grossman. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from when these two teams met here at David S. Ingles Rink last January. So we welcome you back live into David S. Ingles Rink. This Union team returns a potent offense this year that we saw showcased in some of those highlights from last year, averaging over 3.7 goals per game, good for number 3 nationally. Well, those highlights came from a 3-1 Union victory here in January of last year. For the game played in Union last season, the Bulldogs were victorious, 4-0 winners, and in that game, junior goaltender at that point, Jeff Malcolm, keyed the Bulldogs' success with 45 saves, setting the career mark. And taking a look now at the players coming out onto the ice for the starting lineups, getting the impression that Jeff Malcolm will get the start in net tonight again for the Bulldogs. So Coach Keith Elaine hoping that as he's had success against this Union team in the past, that will continue tonight and put together a strong effort, something the Bulldogs would be certainly much looking for after allowing 6 in net last night. Well, I had a chance to catch up with Yale head coach Keith Elaine before tonight's game. Let's take a listen on that interview. This is Max Valenstein here for Yale All-Access, ringside with Yale head coach Keith Elaine. Coach, tough loss last night against an aggressive RPI squad. What would you like to see your team improve upon for tonight's game?
Oh, there are lots of areas I think we need to improve upon. I think in general terms we just need to have more intensity. I think that showed itself in our lack of offensive production, and it also showed itself in our lack of ability to defend the net.
Coach, following last night's loss, can we expect any changes to the lineup for tonight's game?
Yeah, we got a couple of forwards that won't be in the game tonight. Jesse Root and Trent Ruffalo, and Matt Beattie will not play tonight, and so some defensemen that were out will be back in the lineup.
Thanks, Coach. Looking ahead, strong Union squad coming in tonight, returning a lot of upperclassmen after a Frozen Four run last year. What do they do so well as a group?
They're a terrific hockey team. I mean, they've got good individual players, but they play with great structure. They're disciplined in their team system. They're excellent in special teams, and they get good goaltending.
And as you mentioned, they're in net. They're anchored by junior goaltender Troy Grosnick. Does he affect your game plan at all after the fantastic year he had last year?
No, I mean, I think, our game plan is always to disrupt the other team's goaltender and try to create traffic. And quite frankly, we've had a fair amount of success against him. And, if we execute the way we want to execute on offense, we'll get our chances.
Great, Coach. Thanks.
My pleasure.
That was Yale head coach Keith Elaine. Well, another terrific rendition there of the Star-Spangled Banner performed tonight by the Yale Precision Marching Band in the house here as David S. Ingles Rink slowly fills up. Student section a little sparse at the moment, but should fill as the night goes on. Of course, we're in the reading and final examination period at Yale.
Looking at tonight's game, Max, I think it's going to be really important for both teams to be strong on their special teams. Union is currently ranked number 1 on the power play, the 28% conversion rate. Yale trails close behind at number 15. Penalty kill will also be really important as Union has been really strong on the kill. They've gone 47 for 52 so far this season.
Absolutely, Adlon. Those special teams will factor into every ECAC matchup. A couple days ago, press conference, Coach Elaine was talking about how the majority of these games are going to come down to who converts better on the special teams because a lot of these programs are just so evenly matched. And the same can certainly be said here today. These special teams are going to be important. And see there, goaltender Jeff Malcolm, senior goaltender, Lethbridge, Alberta. Even after giving up 5 goals last night, he gets the start. Coach Elaine showing some trust in his senior, giving him an opportunity again tonight. Perhaps blaming a bit the team defense for last night more than Jeff Malcolm's play for the score.
Definitely a little bit of a struggle last night as Yale tried to get their defense together. Nothing really clicked for the Bulldogs. Out now in the starting lineup for the Bulldogs will be Weberg, Miller, and Agostino up against the Dutchmen's Wilkins, Juris, and Carr. Union wins the faceoff back to Coburn, over to Gossesbear. Back over to Coburn, the far side. Fans on that pass picked up by Agostino into Union's end. Flip back off the glass, Agostino gaining possession, looking for Miller on the far side there. Wrapped back around the boards and picked up by Wilkins. Wilkins throws it deep into the Bulldogs' end for Union to get a line change. Young throwing it back down the rink, and that will be an icing.
As we saw there in that first shift, we've got Nico Weberg tonight playing with Kenny Agostino and Andrew Miller. That was one of several lineup changes for Coach Keith Allane's Yale squad coming in tonight's game. Jesse Root not playing, normally plays on that line with Agostino and Miller. Instead of Root, Ruffalo, and Beattie will be out of tonight's game. Replacing them, Alex Ward, Charles Rossetti, and Matt Killian.
Now for Union, we have Ciampini, Bodie, and Simpson. Their highest scoring line. Bodie so far this season has 16 points, 13 assists. Simpson has 15 points with 7 goals and 8 assists. Definitely a dangerous line for the Bulldogs to contend with. And now we see Andrew Miller get sent out of the face-off circle.
Continuing a trend from last night, Andrew Miller was sent out several times and had various disagreements with linesman Phil Kitchen last night. He's not here tonight. Officials Brian Hicks and Mike Baker joined by linesmen Scott Wheeler and Richard Patry.
Union coming out of their own end. Stewart on the red line, over the blue line, dumps it in behind Malcolm. Puck thrown in front. Malcolm tips it away as the Bulldogs lead the offensive charge down the ice. We have Lagunier gaining the zone. In the corner, hit hard by Stewart. Wilson now with the puck looking to get a shot, but it's blocked as Ciampini now dumps it back in. Malcolm decides to cover that puck as Simpson was hard chasing it down.
Yeah, Wayne Simpson, one of Union's top offensive threats. 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points this year, 47 career goals, and this now is 135th game as a member of the Union Dutchman. Well, Adlon, he's one of several scoring threats on this Union team. Real balanced attack. 16 different goal scorers this year, 21 different skaters, have registered points. Every skater the Dutchmen have played, with the exception of 2, has registered a point at some time this season.
And Anthony Day will take the face-off as Union wins it back to the top of the face-off circle. Union with puck possession back up to Fogard, who dumps it in over Day's head. Shot around the boards. Back up to Alex Ward. This is chipped off the glass behind Malcolm. Obukowski goes down. Puck on the sideboard. Union with cycling in the corner. Obukowski and Cooper working together to get the puck out of their end. Cooper now through the neutral zone, chips it in as Ward goes in on the forecheck. Shot back out of the zone. Lagunier comes off the bench with a hard hit. Back down in for the Bulldogs. Young coming out from behind his own net, chips it off the glass, and they'll go all the way down to the other end for an icing.
Well, on one thing I think Coach Allane would really like to see his team improve upon tonight was their forecheck. Yale's really been an energy team for much of this year, and they've used that strong forecheck to their advantage, but it was just not here at Ingles Rink last night. The Bulldogs have a very hard time pinning RPI in the zone and keeping the puck deep.
Not just that, they also had a hard time converting on their offensive opportunities. We had lots of missed shots, some off passes in the slot. If they can convert on those, they'll have some success soon as Malcolm makes a nice glove save.
Certainly a trouble last night. One thing we discussed for game is that for today's game is that at points in last night's matchup, it felt as if the Bulldogs were just shooting for the sake of shooting. They weren't picking corners. They weren't trying to really get the puck by Kastorf. They were just shooting on net, and as a result, many shots went straight into his stomach. And, of course, no rebounds, nothing further from Kastorf last night.
Union wins the draw. There's a shot over the head of Malcolm by Godesbear. Miller now coming through the neutral zone, goes over his head, shot back out of Union's end. Fallon backhands it to Weberg, but is intercepted by Bodie. Chipped back out, glove down by Simpson on the blue line. Simpson move around Weberg, looking for a shot, and saved by Malcolm.
I think that one might have gotten squirted behind Jeff Malcolm there, right under the armpit, and he did a good job to cover that one up. But you see there on the near side, you saw Wayne Simpson just manhandle Nico Weberg and just go right by him in for that look in on Malcolm. Weberg's got to lay a body on him or get a stick in there and prevent him from getting that such a good look so easily.
One of those moments where you cannot watch the body, cannot watch the puck, you have to watch the body movement of the player. Young behind his own net, looking for an outlet over to defensive partner Rob O'Gara. Back up to Wilson. Bodie picks it off his stick, looking to get it to his teammate Simpson in front of the net. Back out to Stewart on the point and shot through traffic. Malcolm makes the save with his stick. Wilson now picking it up in the corner. Gets it out of the zone. Balch chasing it down. So it goes up against Stewart in the corner. Wilson there to help out Balch in the corner on the forecheck. Stewart comes out with possession for Union. Stewart up to Bodie, Union's junior captain out of East St. Paul, Manitoba. Hard hit by Cooper in the neutral zone as Day now has a one-on-one shot and just off the pipe.
Anthony Day, great wrist shot there for Yale's first unofficial shot of the evening here. 3:54 into tonight's matchup. Union now leading unofficially our shot count 5-1. I think it's been clear, Adlon, early on here why they have one of the nation's best offenses. They just put a lot of pressure on within Yale's zone. They move the puck well, and they've been doing a good job early on pouncing upon those loose pucks and winning the battles along the boards in the corners to really set themselves up.
Miller on the face-off up against Novak for Union. The draw, puck just sits there in the circle as it is picked up by Sullivan. Coming around on the far side there, Sullivan behind the net, being pressured by Weberg and Matt Killian. Weberg comes out with the puck, trying to get it off the boards, but Hatch is there to stop him. In front of the net, shot and save by Malcolm Miller, shot right over his head. Miller picks it up on the boards, getting it out of the zone for the Bulldogs, intercepted by Gostisbehere, and shot back in by Novak behind Malcolm's net. Malcolm leaves it for Killian, who finds Agostino coming off the bench. Miller dumps it in. Agostino into the slot, right to Young, shot and save by Grosnick. Another shot by Young and save.
Well, Adlon, Union playing with a lot of energy here. Perhaps head coach Rick Bennett was not too thrilled with the tie the team earned up in Providence last night. They had a 3-1 lead in the third period, and Brown came back. A couple late goals there to send that one into overtime. No scoring there, obviously. That game finished 3-3, but perhaps a disappointing finish for this Dutchman team, and they're certainly looking to come out with some stride tonight.
Trying to break a 3-game winless streak. The Dutchmen have been pressuring the Bulldogs on offense.
Well, Coach Elaine having a discussion here with referee Mike Baker in front of the Yale bench. Unclear as to what that's all about as he sends out Clinton Bourbonnais and Tommy Fallon here to join the rest of the Yale forwards in the faceoff dot. Bourbonnais now to take the draw, actually.
Bourbonnais wins it over to Orzetti on the far side. Orzetti coming out from behind Union's net, cycling it back to Lagunier. Lagunier coming out from the corner, finds Young on the point. Shot by Young, just wide of the net. Lagunier picking up again in the corner, looking for O'Gara in the slot, who's sliding down. Of offensive rush for Union by Wilkins. Yale's defense is there to break up the play. Lagunier now in the corner, up to Bourbonnais right by his own bench. Orzetti chips it in for the Bulldogs to get a whole change here. Bodie behind the net of Grosnick, waiting for an outlet as Roy comes down behind his own net to help him out. Fallon now skating out, chips it up to Day. Day struggling to get it on his stick. Now back to Grosnick as Gingras picks it up. Forgard trying to get it out of his own end. Missed cross ice pass there as Malcolm will give the puck over to teammate Fallon. Fallon up to Day. Ward now through the neutral zone with Cooper. Cooper shot and saved by Grosnick.
Yeah, Union defenseman there lost his footing, so Cooper had a good look coming in with Matt Killian. Two of them didn't have enough time to work the 2-on-1 advantage, or work the 2-on-1 situation to their advantage rather. Cooper just trying to get a look in on Grosnick, but Grosnick standing tall. Well, Matt Killian today coming back in the lineup. He's only played 4 games this year. That said, he played 31 games last year as a freshman, partnered with Fallon for the majority of the year on the defense.
Miller gets tied up on the faceoff as Duick looks for a shot blocked by Ciampini. Right off the point, Duick back over to Young. Young with a cross-ice pass to Agostino, which goes off the stick of Bodie. Into the zone is Ciampini. Duick takes him out on the near side. Young clearing the puck for the Bulldogs. Gost is bare with the puck now coming through the neutral zone. Fakes the shot. Can get it across as Malcolm comes way out of his net. Save that one.
Well, that's some fantastic stick work there from Shane Gossesbear, sophomore, the Flyers draft pick in 3rd round in 2012, 78th overall pick. Gossesbear also has the honor of being named to the USA World Juniors camp. So we'll have the chance to try out for one of those spots on that World Juniors team in Finland this year.
Novak wins it for Union on the faceoff. Wittick ringing it around the boards up to Bourbonnais. Novak with an interception at center ice. Wittick, who is currently listed on the roster as both forward and defense, is on defense tonight for the Bulldogs. Bodie over to partner Stewart on the point. Stewart dumps it back in to Sullivan. Sullivan coming out from behind the net. Fallon able to clear it out from in front of Malcolm. Chipped out by Balch, thrown back in by Sullivan as Bourbonnais now intercepts that one. Shot blocked by Bodie. So he goes down on the ice. Bourbonnais ringing around the boards. Over to Day. Day back to Wilson behind the net. Wilson pressured by 2 Dutchmen. Sullivan able to gain control and throw it up as O'Gara takes on Matt Bodie. Puck by Cooper up to Day. Day looks for a shot and save off the blocker of Grosnick. Another shot and save. So there's a delayed penalty.
Yeah, referee Brian Hicks here on the near side had his arm raised for quite some time. It seemed as if a lot of the players didn't notice. Jeff Malcolm took about 15, 20 seconds before he headed toward the bench. I believe the call is going to be 6 men on the ice for the Union Dutchman, caught up in a change there as the puck came by the near side. And that penalty is going to be served by freshman Matt Wilkins out of Kimberley, British Columbia. So the Bulldogs get another chance on the power play. 20.4% on the year, good for 15th nationally. 0 for 6 last night, though, and a disappointing showing for that extra man unit.
On the power play, Wilson finds Fallon at the point, back to Lagunier. Different lineup here in the power play for the Bulldogs than their usual. Miller over to Lagunier. Lagunier in the corner. Fallon comes down to try and hold the zone as is thrown back behind Malcolm.
Yeah, you see you have Stu Wilson here replacing Jesse Root on this first power play unit. Root out of tonight's lineup, undisclosed.
Miller up to Weberg. Weberg finds Wilson in the slot just off his skate as it's thrown back in to Malcolm. Yale struggling to set anything up against this top-ranked penalty kill. Looking for Bourbonnais on the far side there, and that'll be an icing back into the Bulldogs' end.
Well, Adlon, so far tonight, it just seems a little disjointed for this Yale squad, much like during periods of last night. They're just not connecting tape to tape on passes, and the guys seem out of sync, crossing each other, whatnot.
This will be really tough coming back to the rink after such a hard loss last night. Get your head back in the game, especially since such a good, strong Union team. We have Day now in the neutral zone, passing back to Fallon. Just about a minute left on the power play. Shot by Fallon from just over the blue line.
Well, folks, a quick look at the other ECAC contests going on tonight. There were 2 4 o'clock games this afternoon, actually, already. Quinnipiac, 3-0 winners over Princeton. They've continued their ECAC domination this year, now 8-0. The other game, RPI and Brown skated to a 2-2 tie up in Providence.
And we have the first power play unit back on. Wilson, Agostino, and Lagunier, joined by Miller and Fallon. Miller now over to Fallon. On the far side, Fallon to Miller to Agostino. Shot and blocked by Coburn as Agostino breaks his stick on that shot. Wilson in the corner. Back to Lagunier. Picked up by Union as it's banked off the glass and back deep into the Bulldogs' end. Malcolm leaves it for Miller to pick up with 30 seconds left on the power play. Fallon skating out from behind his own net, slides it over across to Miller. Intercepted by Carr back into the Bulldogs' end. Agassi trying to get it out of his zone, up to Cooper. Cooper to Miller, coming in looking for Day. That pass was intercepted by Novak. Union gets it out of there. And as Killian over to O'Gara, and Union will now be even strength with the Bulldogs. Intercepted by Killian as he goes down into the boards. Wilkins now picks it up on the near side. Shot and saved by Malcolm. Miller shot just into the crease off the stick of Malcolm, back into the corner now. Cooper trying to get it off the boards to Balch, waiting for the puck as DePauli steps in. Balch looking for something in the middle, picked up and shot and saved by Malcolm.
Well, that's a dangerous pass there by Balch, perhaps trying to spring the breakout by sending a pass to the center of the ice there. Real risky, keeping it within the zone. Gostisbehere just picked that up and carried it in for a quick shot in on Malcolm all alone. Great save there by Jeff Malcolm. He's already had to make 10 saves here early on. We're only 10 minutes and 24 seconds old here from New Haven, Connecticut. Union already 10 shots unofficially. And we're going to see Carson Cooper actually sit 2 minutes here. I didn't see the signal from the officials there, but this #1 nationally Union power play, 28.6%, is going to get their first chance of the evening.
Have to be really careful of Gostisbehere as he is their top scoring defenseman. Now on the power play, Union looking to set up Juris, coming around the top of the zone, over to Carr. Carr slides it across and goes off the skate of Bodie right in the slot. Malcolm grabbing onto that one quickly.
So freshman Carson Cooper is going to sit 2 minutes here for a hook. The call from the officials announced by PA announcer Mark Reba here at Ingles Rink.
And the Bulldogs will switch up their penalty kill unit. Bourbon and Lagunier now taking the ice. Lagunier tips it past Union's defense as it goes up against Gingras in the Dutchman's end. That will be a delayed penalty. Yale fans getting pretty upset here in the first period.
Oh, tough battle there on the boards. Antoine Lagunier is going to sit 2 for a hook, and this is real dangerous now. You already have the nation's #1 power play here with the Union Dutchman coming in, and they're buzzing on offense early on, and now they're going to have a whole 91 seconds of 5-on-3 action.
And
this is going to be a real test early on for this Yale penalty killers and the whole mental toughness of this Yale team.
Definitely, Max. Looks like head coach Keith Elaine has decided to put Miller out at the top of the triangle as Union works through. Shot and saved by Malcolm. That was an interesting play on the power play. Did you see that one?
Yeah. It's a fake shot there. Let it through his legs to the secondary shooter a good 10 feet behind him.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. Bodie will take the face-off for Union as there's 1:22 seconds left of 5-on-3. Young clears it out of his own end for Grosnick to pick up. Coming back around the net, so Gostisbehere is skating over the blue line. Back over to Coburn. Gostisbehere now coming to the top of the zone, just over the blue line. Over to Coburn. Coburn to Simpson. Another fake play there. Union trying to bide their time, looking for the perfect opportunity. Coburn now looking for Simpson and score for the Dutchman.
That's a nice shot there from a sharp angle. Simpson just rocketing that one up over the left shoulder of Jeff Malcolm. I don't know, perhaps it got deflected on the way through. Either way, Simpson's going to pick up the goal there. Assist primary to Coburn. And the danger here for the Bulldogs is that Union's going to have another 1:12 seconds on this power play. They're now 1 for 1 on the night. And Antoine Lagunier is going to be sitting in the sin bin for another 72 seconds.
Back on the penalty kill will be Wilson and Balch, who are regulars up at the top of the box. Got it. Sparrow looking for Simpson on the far side. Shot back out by Fallon for the Bulldogs to get a quick change. Just under a minute left to kill here at Ingalls. Sparrow coming out from behind his own net. Finds Carr. Carr looking for Novak in the neutral zone. Nice play by Dewick as he shoots it back down the ice. Sparrow to Carr. Carr looking for a cross-ice pass. Bourbonnais there to stop that play as Cooper comes in to help him out. 30 seconds left. Coming back down the ice now is Gingras. Balch there on the red line to stop them. Bodie up to Gingras to Carr, who dumps it down into the corner. Glove down by Gingras, back over to Carr. Gingras now at the zone looking for a shot just over the stick of O'Gara. Does not find Malcolm. Bodie to Gingras. Broken up by O'Gara as the Bulldogs are now even strength. Lagunier taking the ice right out of the box. Lagunier holds the zone as Agostino goes in on the forecheck, joined by Miller and Lagunier. Puck now back out to O'Gara. Shot by O'Gara just wide of Grosnick. Killian looking to pull a move around Bodie. The puck slides back out to Miller dangerously along the blue line, looking for his defensive partner Dewick. Bodie chips it over the head of his teammates. Killian picks it up, back up to Lagunier, who gains the zone. Lagunier now coming around, looking for the backhand. He pulls it across his body. At the point now, Dewick to Killian. Killian with a shot that trickles through to the stick of Grosnick. Yale doing a nice job throwing shots on net. Miller rings it back around the boards to Lagunier. Lagunier stuck on the corner with Gingras. Puck goes back to Agostino as he gets taken down behind the net. There'll be a delayed penalty. Malcolm leaves.
Yeah, David Roy, I believe it's going to be heading off. He's going to sit 2 minutes for taking down Kenny Agostino. Holding is going to be the call. 5:56 to play here in the first period. The Bulldogs are going to get their second opportunity on the power play tonight. Obviously 0 for 1 just a moment ago.
On the power play, we have Day, Bourbonnais, and Lieberg, Yale's second unit for tonight, joined by O'Gara and Killian up at the point. Killian now with the puck over to Bourbonnais on the sideboard. Bourbonnais back to Killian, over to O'Gara. And that was, I believe, a penalty.
That was a quick whistle there. Yeah, it's going to be Anthony Day. He's going to get caught there for slashing the stick of a Union defenseman out of his hands. Pretty easy call when that stick gets knocked down to the ice.
As we talked about earlier, it's really important for both teams to capitalize on the special teams. You have to utilize what you get.
Well, these are two skilled up-tempo offensive teams here, so both probably suited well to the 4-on-4 play, which we'll get for the next minute 52.
Union with the puck. Simpson at the top. Challenged by Fallon. Shot just wide. Malcolm's glove goes out of the zone. Picked up by Gostisbehere. Shoots it back over to Simpson. Weberg pushes his body off the puck, getting the puck to Fallon. Fallon back up to Weberg. Nice movement through the neutral zone as Weberg dumps it in. Weberg on the corner, challenged by Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere biding time behind his own net. So he skates out, shooting it back over to Juris. Juris dumps it in for Fallon to pick up. Fallon back to Obukowski. Obukowski up to Miller in the neutral zone. Miller over the red line, gains the blue line, looks for a shot just past the skate of Grosnick. Agostino now on the forecheck, shoots it up the glass, picked up by Juris. Juris to Carr in the neutral zone. You're looking for a shot and saved by Malcolm as Wittick hits it out. Miller picks it up, throws it over to Dewick on the far side. About 37 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Wittick in his own end. Back up to Lagunier. Lagunier coming over the top of the circle as he comes through center ice. Agnew with the shot and saved by Groznik. Had to reach up for that one. Puck comes back around the boards to O'Gara. O'Gara to Wilson, who gets hit hard by Forgard. Agnew working the corner to help him out. Forgard now coming out with the puck. Nice hit there as Union now goes up 5-on-4, 5 seconds on the Bulldogs. Forgard seems to just be waiting for that one. And there will be a face-off.
Not sure what the stoppage of play is here, but the officials perhaps uncontent with Union's lack of movement with the puck. I don't know if they can blow for a whistle for a delay of the game. Obviously, it's not a penalty, but I do remember a year back that game between, I think it was the Flyers and the Lightning. The Flyers just refused to move the puck forward against the Lightning's 1-3-1. The officials did blow that dead, so perhaps a similar lack of progress with the puck merits a whistle here.
Both teams now 5-on-5 as the Bulldogs win the face-off. A blocked shot right off the draw. Puck now back into the neutral zone, up to Simpson. Stopped by Killian and Bourbonnais. Fallon now with the puck being challenged hard by Union. And working behind Yale's net. Killian and Fallon doing a nice job back in the corner. Killian throws it off the glass, glove down by Gostisbehere, thrown back to Ciampini. Back behind the net. Fallon and Ciampini going at it behind Malcolm as Killian backhands it. Up the ice, shot saved by Malcolm, big rebound. Tries to grab that one out of the air. Killian up to Balch on the sideboards as Bourbonnais will get it out for the Bulldogs. Balch shoots it back in behind Groznik to be picked up by Matt Bodie. Bodie over to Coburn. Coburn to Wilkins. Picked off by Cooper. Shot by Cooper just over the crossbar. Both Yale and Union player go down. That was Weberg. He gains control in the corner. Weberg looking for Duick. That pass is intercepted by Wilkins. Duick up to Elbakowski. To Cooper, who's waiting on the blue line. Now to Orzetti, looking for a shot blocked by Forgard. Cooper cycles back to Weberg. Weberg trying to get into the slot area. Wraps it around the back of the net. Cooper almost there, right on his stick. So it barely misses him. Cooper now to Orzetti. Orzetti dumps it deep in the corner to get a change for his line.
Union's been doing a good job clogging the shooting lanes for the Bulldogs here.
Forgard skating out of his own end, off the boards, banks it into the zone. Malcolm passes to Duick. As Duick is challenged by Hatch. Thrown up center ice to Agostino, who's going up against Gottesberg. Agostino, puck sitting right in the crease. Nice play by Agostino as Gottesberg now picks it up behind the net. Back over to Stewart. Stewart using his defensive partner as an outlet. That will go up over the boards. Obakowski holding zone. Save by Groznik.
That was a great individual effort by Agostino a moment ago to carry that puck in and bring it from the outside inside to get it in on Groznik's net. Obakowski there for the Bulldogs coming in behind, trying to pick up the loose change just a little too far behind. And the Union Dutchman able to clear that puck out of the crease, prevent any damage there from the Yale Bulldogs offensive unit.
You could really see how Agostino's using his body and his strength to push in and get as close as he could to Groznik, trying to get that puck across the front of the net as Wilson goes down off the face-off. Over to Gostisbehere. Comes out of the zone, cross ice pass up to Simpson. Looking for a shot, goes well wide of the net. Picked up by Gostisbehere on the blue line. Another shot that goes wide. Dumped back in by Bodie. Picked up by Fallon. Fallon over to Balch on the far side. Gets it off the boards. 2 hard hits in a row on the Bulldogs. So it is in Union's end. Duick following the play, picks it up, shoots it over to Bourbonnais off his skate. Bourbonnais back to Fallon. Fallon up to Weberg to Miller, just coming off the bench. Miller being challenged hard by Bodie. Bodie back over to Coburn, back to Bodie. There's a defensive play as Fallon clears it out of his own end. Coburn with a shot on Malcolm's save. as it goes into the corner. Dewick picks it up off the bounce, back over to Fallon. Fallon to Miller, waiting on the boards. The near side, trying to pushes it in to the corner. Stuart Reener on the boards, up to Carr, who chips it over to Juris. Juris over to Wilkins. The clock runs down here in the first period of play at Ingalls. Bulldogs down 1-0 against the Union Dutchmen.
Well, certainly a real strong period for the Dutchmen. They show you here in this first period how much of a complete team they are. The offense strong, buzzing, getting a lot of opportunities there in Yale's zone in front of Jeff Malcolm, and at the same time playing clean defense, not giving Yale anything, not giving them second chances right in front of Grosnick's net. All looking good for Union. Yale struggled a little bit in the early stages of the period, starting to pick up the rhythm and starting to make better, cleaner, crisper passes as the period went on. Well, folks, we're going to take a break here and head into, or take a break and return rather, to go through some of our first intermission material. I'll have the opportunity to speak to Director of Sports Information here at Yale. That'd be Steve Kahn, and we'll get a chance to look over some facts and figures from this first period of play between these two ECAC heavyweights. Stay tuned, folks.
Coming up next is more Yale men's ice hockey on Yale All-Access. I'm number 15, Clinton Bourbonnais.
Welcome back here inside our booth atop David S. Ingles Rink as we join you here for our coverage in the first intermission. I'm joined here by Yale Sports Information Director Steve Kahn. Steve, welcome back into the booth.
Thanks, Max.
Certainly an entertaining game so far tonight. High-energy Union team countered by an equally intense Yale squad. What do you take away from today's first period?
Well, I took away that this is obviously a very big rivalry now. Obviously, Union coming in as the two-time defending league champions. Everybody gets up for them, and I can understand that the Yale team, after playing the game that they played last night and falling to RPI, that they were going to be something extra special here tonight as far as their effort goes. But that doesn't mean that you can solve the league's best goalie, Troy Grosnick. That's the tough part. He's playing well, and that's going to be a tough task for the Bulldogs tonight.
Absolutely. Troy Grosnick's looked a little more human this season, at least by the numbers. He was supernatural last year, but he's still anchoring this complete defensive core. One of the things I was talking about with Adlon during the first period is just how complete this Union squad looks. The offense is there, the defense is there, and they really seem to play well as a unit, top to bottom, with so many different guys on their team have scored 16 different scores. With 23 skaters, 21 of them have registered a point at some time this year. The only two who haven't are freshmen who've seen limited playing time. This is really a team that's tough to play against, and it's going to take a full team effort from this Yale squad, including all the younger players, the freshmen, whatnot, to really rise to the challenge and skate with this Union team. Now that said, I think perhaps the Union jumped out of the gate a little stronger than Yale the first 5, 6, maybe even 10 minutes of today's game. But I do think this Yale team has settled down a little bit, and they're playing much better. The passes were crisper. Everything seemed to be going a little better in sync as the period went on.
Absolutely, and last night's first period was a good first period for Yale, obviously. Defensively, they covered things well. Tonight, they were there where they needed to be in those moments where it got a little scary. So that's good to see also. But it takes a 60-minute effort, though, to get it done against a team like Union.
Absolutely. So looking forward to the rest of the game here. One more thing we are looking forward to here at Ingles Rink and at Yale upcoming is the Yale Hockey Alumni Weekend, which will take place in January. That's the home weekend of the Harvard and the Dartmouth games. I know, Steve, you're excited for that as well as the whole Yale Athletics Department.
Absolutely. That's a date that we circle on the calendar every year because we get to see a lot of the former players. So many of the guys come back to play in the blue-white game, which happens Saturday morning of that weekend. It'll be Dartmouth on Friday night here, and then Saturday Harvard, and that morning on Saturday about 9:30 that game will begin, and there'll be at least 40 or 50 former players coming back to play in that game, as there is every year. We get to see guys from as far back as the 1960s and up to a couple of years ago who come back and play in that game and see everybody. And it's a fun, festive weekend for everybody. Get to see the rink and the updates guys who haven't been around in a while. Many of them come every year, so we get to see them all the time. I typically get out there and referee the games and try to get out of the way and not get hurt. That's my job, and it's actually quite a challenge, too.
Well, that's always an exciting weekend here at Yale, especially so that it coincides with the weekend of the Harvard game. Of course, that one means a lot to the Yale team, the Yale fans, and whatnot. And you always get some special dignitaries around. I've seen John Kerry at that game before. Always an exciting weekend here. And for Yale All-Access, we're very much looking forward to that weekend because starting those games, I won't be broadcasting on Friday night. That one's covered by NBC Sports. But on Saturday night, we will be bringing you coverage starting then in high definition. Hope to have our instant replay system up and running too. Certainly something to look forward to there. So thank you, Steve, for coming and chatting with us tonight. Why don't we take a look at some of those facts and figures from this first period of play here for Yale against the Union Dutchmen.
Thanks.
So looking there, unofficially, Union registered 14 shots on Jeff Malcolm in the first period. He met the challenge on 13 of them. Troy Grosnick made 11 saves on 11 shots. Face-offs pretty even on the dot. The Bulldogs winning 12 of the 22 draws, Union winning the 10. On the power plays, I'm actually, from my notes, I have Yale as 0 for 2 with the man advantage and Union 1 for 3 on the man advantage. You have to, of course, count those abbreviated power plays, even though Yale's power play lasted 8 seconds before Antoine Lagunier took the minor, and then his minor, even though it carried over for just 8 seconds, they still count just the same as power play opportunities. So I welcome Adlon Adams here, back into the booth in our coverage here in our first intermission report. Just over 3 minutes until they drop the puck again for the start of the second period. Adlon, what did you see from this first period? How do you like the way the Yale's playing tonight?
Well, I really like we have a couple line changes. I like how the new lines are playing together. Pretty cohesive as far as I can tell. Looking at the shot chart, a lot of Yale's shots are coming from the top of the zone, top of the circles, in a sort of like triangle right on net. I would like to see them move the goalie back and forth across his crease more, get some more angles going, passes to the back door, anything.
Well, that's certainly one of the things that we talked about last night when Yale was facing another talented goaltender, then freshman Jason Kasdorf. He was fantastic last night, and we spoke of Yale needing to really work the angles, as you mentioned, move him side to side, make him work within the crease to generate some opportunities. Troy Grosnick is someone with whom this Yale team is familiar. They've had success against him in the past, especially last year's game up in Schenectady, New York, when the Bulldogs registered 4 goals on Grosnick, a big 4-0 win for them last fall. But again, doing all those little things are important. Perhaps it doesn't matter as much who's in net. As Coach Elaine told me before today's game, this team just needs to work their system, maintain their forecheck, and get those opportunities in on goal.
As we saw on the last penalty kill, I was really impressed by the way that Yale was able to keep them in the neutral zone, keep them contained in their own end. Not so much on the first penalty kills, but they definitely have been adjusting to the way Union is playing, very fast-paced. The cross-ice passes, haven't seen as much of Yale reading those plays, but I'm sure they'll start to adjust as time goes on.
Certainly. The Bulldogs were doing great early on last night's game about jumping into the passing lanes. Obviously, the lone goal coming from a very, very foresighted interception by Tommy Fallon, who ripped a wrister up top. At that point, gave the Bulldogs a 1-0 lead. The wheels fell off the bus from there, but nonetheless, something the Bulldogs look to continue tonight. That was a fantastic job of reading the play and moving in there. So, as you mentioned, the power play and the penalty kill for the Bulldogs, they did look good their first time around. The 5-on-3 opportunity yielded the lone goal of the first period. Wayne Simpson, from a sharp angle, put a wrist shot up over the top of Jeff Malcolm's left shoulder. That gave the Union Dutchman a 1-0 lead about midway through the first period. And about midway through that period, as we mentioned, Union did have a very large advantage in the shots. About 10 minutes deep into this period, they were already out shooting the Bulldogs 10-3. Since then, Yale's clawed a little back in there in the shot count. Now it sits at 14-11 Union, so about 8-4 in favor of the Bulldogs over the last couple of minutes of the period. But then again, it's 1-0 Union in the only series of numbers on the scoreboard that do matter.
Just a little side note here, Max. As we talked about, Yale has a lot of players on the ice that are able to capitalize, are able to just get things done during the game. Looking at here, I've seen that we have 21 Yale players who have captained a hockey team before coming to Yale. Really speaks to the leadership on this team coming from different parts of the ice.
Absolutely, especially after coming back from a tough loss like last night and playing one of the best teams in the country here, number 12 Union. You really look to those players to lead on the ice and not just look to the coaching staff to find that motivation and inspiration.
Off the center ice face-off, it goes deep into the Bulldogs' end. Shot by Simpson, which is off the stick of O'Gara. O'Gara trying to break it out of the zone to Miller. Miller stopped by Gostisbehere. Shot back in, Malcolm collecting it behind the net to Young. Young banks it off the glass right onto the stick of Agostino. Great angle on that pass. Agostino at the top of the circle gets it to Miller. They're trying to find Young skating into the zone. It's intercepted by Ciampini. He backhands it off the boards to O'Gara, who finds Balch coming right off the bench. Picked up now by Stewart. Stewart up to Carr. Wilson on the forecheck, chipped out of Union's end. Lagunier fighting for the puck as Juris now picks it up. Shot saved by Malcolm. Wilson and Fallon working together behind the net. Dewick joins in right into the slot. Carr whiffs on the one-timer.
And that's a fortunate break there for the Bulldogs. Carr wide open on the one-timer, a good 6-7 feet out of Jeff Malcolm's net.
Carr coming back into the zone, drops it for Juris. Shot right off the shin pad of Day as it goes in the corner. Day looking for his teammate. Dewick joins in, getting chippy in the corner. Trying to dig for that puck. Wilkins and Juris. Dewick pushes Juris off the puck as Day now comes out of the zone and is stopped by Carr.
The Bulldogs struggling a bit there to escape their own zone. Union just jumping in the lanes and closing off the boards.
Day flipping it out of the zone, glove down by Forgard. Back into the end it goes as Dewick now shoots it into the Dutchman's end. Forgard behind his own net, hit by Cooper as the puck comes out on the side. Picked up again by Forgard off the boards this time and finds Sullivan. Coming back around now is Miller from behind his own net. Miller to Agostino. And that will be an icing. Barely missing the stick of Agostino. It's the right idea on that play. Looking, having your head up, coming out from behind your own net to try and find an open player.
Well, down here on the Union bench, I see Kyle Bodie getting some attention there to his skate. He was having some problems with the with his edges there. Couldn't really skate well, but some quick attention there from the Union equipment staff, and he's back out there to take the draw. Nothing major, I suppose.
Interesting to see that Kyle's brother Matt and he both played on the same juniors team at the Powell River Kings in the BCHL, and there'll be a save for Malcolm. Right, Young has a stick caught in his cage.
That's always funny. You don't think there was too much sibling rivalry going up there in the Bodie house in Manitoba, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Kyle being the assistant captain and Matt the head captain.
Yeah, younger brother's captain of the team. I wonder if he ever reminds his older brother of that one.
Looks like they're even in points, actually. That's pretty cool. Puck goes across the crease, back into the corner as it is picked up by Ciampini. Fallon pushing him into the boards from behind. Ciampini and Wilson in front of the net. Puck sitting on the goal line. As it comes out to Balch. Balch finds Lagunier on the blue line as he now gains the opposite end, backhands it, and it'll be a glove save for Grosnick.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are going to need to put together a more in-sync, concerted offensive onslaught to get by Grosnick here. One simple flicked-on backhand is not going to get it past this guy. Grosnick's a tremendous netminder. He's got a strong Union defense in front of him. The Bulldogs really need to put together some odd-man rushes, multi-man attacks here to really get some good scoring chances.
With a 916 save percentage, for Grosnick, definitely looking for the Bulldogs to get some quick shots off like Tommy Fallon's last night against RPI. The snapshot right over the blue line found its way to the back of the net. Behind the net is Bodie over to his defensive partner as it goes past the stick of DePauli in the neutral zone. In the corner now is Coda with Obukowski. Obukowski pushing it through. Gets thrown behind the net for Miller to corral on the far side. Miller trying to find Agostino off the boards as icing is called off. Bodie throws that one back around. Picked up by Malcolm's glove as he leaves it for Wittick. Wittick back up to Lagunier. Lagunier tipping it into the zone. Forgard chasing it down behind the net. Ward coming in on the forecheck. Wittick at the point, shoots it back around behind the net to Cooper on the sideboards. Puck goes back behind the net. Gingers whiffing on that pass. Stopped on the blue line by Day. Nice reflexes. Coming around is Sullivan over the blue line. Young clearing it from in front of his own net off the boards. Back up to Gostis Bear. Young off the boards to Day. Day gets it around over to Balch. Balch now coming through the faceoff circle looking for a shot as Anthony Day goes down. That will be a penalty on Union.
An interference call there on the Dutchman will send junior forward Josh Juris, to the penalty box. Yale will get another opportunity on the power play. 0 for 2, I believe, on the evening.
And On the power play, we have Agostino, Wilson, and Lagunier, the first unit for the Bulldogs tonight. Wilson on the face-off, gets tied up, puck to Agostino, flip it back to Miller, a little too far. Malcolm over to Miller behind his own net. When coming around, finds Wilson in the neutral zone. Wilson coming through on the sideboards. Up to Fallon on the blue line, back over to Agostino. Agostino to Miller on the back end, back over to Fallon. The shot blocked by Forker, and they'll be flipped up into the fans. Stu Wilson is one of Coach Keith Lane's go-to rookies with 2 goals and 1 assist so far. His big goal coming up against Denver, short-handed. Bourbonnais on the face-off. It is won by Union. Flips it into the zone. The Bulldogs, Killian now on the power play. Gets it up to Day. Day carrying through the neutral zone. Is pressured by Novak. Nice poke check by O'Gara. Strong on his stick. Now Dutchman in their own zone, trying to get it out. Back up to Carr. O'Gara takes him out. Puck rolling deep into Yale's end. Back over to Weberg. Weberg up to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais coming over the blue line. Hit by Forgard. 48 seconds left on the power play for the Bulldogs. Killian coming out from the boards. Shoots back behind the net. Picked up and shot out past Miller. Killian now over to Weberg. Weberg to Miller coming up off of defense to join the offensive play. Shot by Miller, saved by Groznik. Shot back down the ice by Union. Fallon now behind his own net. Comes up over to Wilson. Wilson racing into the zone. Drops it back to Fallon. Fallon to Miller. Miller to Agostino. Agostino with the shot blocked. Goes into the netting. 2 seconds left on the power play. The face-off in the Dutchman's end.
Well, Union just holding firm on the penalty kill there, not giving Yale too many chances right in front of Grosnick, what they've been doing all night, and Union's been doing a good job here on the penalty kill, especially of getting the puck out of their zone. The Bulldogs have been trying to keep it in Union zone, but sometimes, like that shot a moment ago from Andrew Miller, it's in one shot and Union knocks it out of the zone.
Puck back to Young on the point off the face-off. Shot blocked by Bodie as Union is now 5-on-5 with the Elis. Over the blue line it goes as Ward picks it up. Ward up to Cooper. Ward again with the puck back to O'Gara. O'Gara pulling it across his body. Finds Balch on the blue line. Balch gets it into the zone. There will be a delayed penalty called. Balch hangs onto it in the corner. Bourbonnais up to Miller. Miller with a nice move, trying to get a shot off over to Weberg. Shot by Weberg, blocked it into the netting.
Well, the Bulldogs going to get another chance here. It's going to be Coburn, I believe, skating off. Greg Coburn, yes, senior assistant captain for the Union Dutchman. He's going to sit 2 minutes for a trip there on Josh Balch in the far corner. So Yale's going to jump right back on the power play. 0 for 3 tonight.
As we talked about earlier, Union is ranked number 8 in the nation on their penalty kill, the 90.4% success rate. Wilson on the faceoff. We have Yale's number 1 power play unit. Wilson wins it back to Miller. Miller with a shot off the skate of Novak as Lagunier picks up in the corner, shoots it back to Agostino. Changing the sides on the power play as Agostino struggles in the corner to find a point. Carr is getting really aggressive on the far side. Puck shoots out to Miller. Miller to Fallon. Fallon back to Miller. Miller to Fallon on the blue line. Over to Lagunier. Lagunier with a shot blocked by Forgard. Puck back to Agostino. Finds Miller on the point. Shot by Miller right into the pad of Groznik.
And Antoine Lagunier is furious. He feels that Union forward Daniel Carr just slashed his stick out of his hands. He's pointing to it incredulously. It's still on the ice, discussing with the officials that he felt he was the victim of a slash there unfairly, and he's not even going to pick up his stick. He's going to let the officials do it for him as he skates to the Yale bench. Keith Elaine equally upset, giving the officials a taste of his mind.
Pretty frustrating, especially when you're so close to the net, so close to scoring. That puck was just lying there in front of Groznik's pads, waiting for a Bulldog to come in and poke it through.
Well, Keith Elaine, you see there on the screen, discussing with referee Mike Baker. Keith Elaine never one to be shy to share his opinions, let's say rather emphatically, with the officiating crew.
Bourbonnais at center now as Gostisbehere comes out with the puck, trying to chip it out. Killian there to hold the zone. Gostisbehere picks it up again. As Killian now looks for a shot blocked by Bodie. Killian over to Weberg, back to Killian, shoots it down to Bourbonnais in the corner. Just about a minute left in the power play for the Bulldogs. And Union will get a chance to regroup and switch up their line as it goes into the Bulldogs' end. O'Gara now coming out from behind his own net up to Killian. Killian to Cooper, over to Bourbonnais. Shot by Bourbonnais just off the pad of Groznik. Another rebound. Weber looking for a shot, and the net is off.
Ooh, wow, that puck came awfully close to going in there. That took a funny bounce, and I wonder if they're going to take a look at that. I would ask them to if I were Yale coach Keith Elaine. I wish we could show that for you here on a replay system. That's something we will look forward to doing in games coming up ahead, a replay system here for Yale All-Access, courtesy of a generous donation from Steve Kushner, class of 1971, in honor of Yale women's ice hockey player Mandy Schwartz. That one looks like it might have caught the inside of the net there as it rattled around, but no replay forthcoming from the officiating crew, it seems.
I feel like I almost saw Cooper as he went into the back of the net raise his arms in celebration, or may have just been because he got thrown in the back, but that was definitely a close call for Groznik.
Perhaps if the Bulldogs thought it had gone in, though, I'd imagine they'd put up more of a fuss right now about getting that one looked at, and no argument from the Yale squad. Definitely.
Lagunier pokes it over to Agostino, across the red line to Miller. Nice hard pass. Miller looking for Agostino on a saucer pass. Agostino in the corner. Comes out, point to Fallon, 20 seconds left on the power play. Agostino sliding it across as Union clears it out of their own end. Fallon now over to Miller, circling through his own zone, finds stick of Lagunier. Lagunier off the boards into Union's end as Agostino picks it up. One last shot on the power play. Fallon blocked by Carr as Union is now full strength, coming right out of the box.
And he's heading right back into the box, too. Here's Greg Coburn. And that's the result right there. Yale's going to get another power play here because Andrew Miller did a fantastic thing there. Carr had the puck, and he was trying to send it all the way down to Coburn, spring him free from the penalty box, in alone on Malcolm on a breakaway. Miller did a fantastic thing to hustle there, full speed, and try and race him. Miller eventually beat him back there to the puck, and as a result, it was an icing call. A little too late for Coburn, perhaps. He planted Miller into the end boards, and that's going to earn him a 2-minute penalty. My guess is for hitting after the whistle.
Face-off won by the Bulldogs as Bourbonnais on the sideboards battles for it. Cooper pinned by Stewart. Puck squirts out into the middle of the zone, is cleared out by the Dutchman. Bulldogs looking to capitalize on their power play here as O'Gara comes out, shoots it over to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais up to Weberg. Weberg throws it on net, blocked away by Groznik. Bourbonnais now with the puck, looking for Cooper on the other side of the zone. And it goes back into the Bulldogs' end.
So boarding the official call, we heard from PA announcer Mark Reba on Greg Coburn, giving the Bulldogs their 5th power play opportunity on the evening.
Killian sliding across to Miller. Miller throwing it into the slot goes off the skate of teammate Wilson. Miller back to Agostino, over to Lagunier in the corner. Lagunier to Miller at the top of the zone. Miller over to Fallon. Fallon back to Lagunier. Goes off his stick into the glass. Bulldogs trying to get a quick one on Union with all their passing. the top of the zone. Fallon now coming out from behind the net. 40 seconds left on the power play for the Bulldogs. Agostino looking to get over the blue line. He throws it in. Fallon finds Miller. Miller's shot and blocked by Gostisbehere. Just did not allow Miller to get a clear shot.
Yeah, the Flyers draft pick just got his stick in there, denying Andrew Miller the chance to knock that one up. That's about where Andrew Miller scored from on a similar looking play, a slap shot against Brown on the power play a week ago. Exactly. Gostisbehere just denying him the chance to even get that one on Grosnick.
Just under 30 seconds left on the power play as Bourbonnais wins the faceoff, goes back to Killian. Killian fakes the shot over to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais, the shot just past the glove of Grosnick. Coming back out of the zone, O'Gara regrouping back to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais barely avoiding a hit, takes out Bodie instead. Killian off the boards over to Weberg. Weberg chooses to skate the puck up, looking for Bourbonnais as Union now goes up. Even strength with the Bulldogs. Coburn coming back out of the box.
Get the whistle here as the faceoff is going to come out to center ice. Didn't see the call there from the officials. My guess is that puck was shot down into Yale's offensive zone. A Union player played it with a high stick, and the subsequent touch-up by Fogard down there merits the whistle and the faceoff here at center ice.
Stu Wilson will take the faceoff, joined by Balch and Ward. Fallon picking it up off the draw, up to Ward. Picked up by Coburn, shooting it cross ice. Balch is there to intercept that pass. It'll go out of play.
So with that penalty kill, the Dutchman now improved to 5 for 5 on the evening, successfully killing Yale man advantages. Yale on the flip side, after a fantastic effort with the extra man against Brown a weekend ago when they went 4 for 7, they've struggled on the power play this weekend now with RPI and tonight's game combined 0 for 11 with the extra attacker.
Back into the zone it goes. Gingras picking it up through the neutral zone. Balch trying to stop that play. The puck goes back up to Ward from Whittick. Cooper being pushed in the boards by DePauli. Shot and save by Malcolm. Another shot off the glove of Balch as Ward tries to find Balch going in for the breakaway. Puck back out of Union's end. Roy coming in, drops it back to Coda. Coda shot and save by Malcolm.
Hey, well, that's a good save there by Malcolm to hang on to that one with no rebound. They had both Coda and DePauli there right in on net after that shot from Roy. Union Dutchman looking to clean up the garbage there and bang home the second goal of the evening. No such luck, so we stay here 1-0. The Union Dutchman leading the Yale Bulldogs. 7:41 to play here in the second period. You're watching Yale men's ice hockey on Yale All-Access.
And Miller, Agostino, and Weberg will now take the ice. Draw one by Union back to Ciampini. O'Gara trying to push him off the puck on the near side. Weberg will pick it up off the boards. So it gets stuck in Simpson's jersey. Looks like Weberg now coming around, gives it back to Young. Young throws it to O'Gara. O'Gara off the boards, looking for Agostino right on his stick. That goes off the referee's side as Ciampini now comes over the blue line, gaining the zone for the Dutchman. Squirts back out to Bodie, cross ice over to Stewart. Stewart will throw it in behind Malcolm's net. Young picking it up. Going to skate it over to Weberg, but is intercepted by Novak coming off the bench. Miller trying to throw back in the zone, hits Weberg. Instead, O'Gara steps up on the play. Coming back around is Hatch behind the net. Throwing it out to the point. Shot saved by Malcolm. Nice clear by Young as he finds that puck sitting in front of Malcolm. Young back behind the net, throws it, looking for Orzetti along the boards. Orzetti breaking down the zone for the Bulldogs, gains the blue line, shot by Orzetti, and that will go off of Coburn's stick into the netting.
Yeah, right off Old Glory there, off the Star-Spangled Banner. Get a whistle here, just outside the neutral, or just in the neutral zone rather, outside of Troy Grosnick's zone. No, the faceoff's coming inside actually. They're going to say that one was deflected off a Union stick. Break there for Yale. Is looking at a chance to win the puck here in Union's end.
Because Unionist goalie Grosnick is so strong on those shots, I'd really like to see the Bulldogs get some more traffic in front of the net, maybe get a tip off a skate or a stick.
Hey, whatever works, they all count.
Puck goes back out to Stewart in the neutral zone, over to Forgard. Forgard looking for Carr on the blue line, misses his stick as Killian comes in on defense. Puck in front of Yale's net, picked up by Wilson. Wilson up to Lagunier. Lagunier over the red line, shot from way out, gloved by Grosnick. Tough call there for Lagunier, whether to skate around, try and get around Union's defense, just go for the straight up slap shot instead.
Oh, something that Lagunier can try there is to just shoot that puck, similar style, shoot it off the end boards behind Grosnick's net and try and play the bounce. Perhaps even to himself, to a teammate, perhaps get a funky bounce, whatnot. Anything to increase the uncertainty there in that play. That's just too easy for Grosnick to glove that one out of midair.
Barrett behind his own net, biding his time, waiting for someone to help pick it up. Novik now coming down through the neutral zone, beats Obukowski. Bourbonnais there to help him on that play. Obukowski up to Ward. Ward looking for Day, goes in between his feet as Day slaps it into the zone. Day gets a hard hit from Coburn. Back up off the glass. Comes up to Sullivan. Duick stepping up on the play. There'll be an offsides and a face-off here. Yale in a tight 1-0 battle with the Dutchman. About 5 minutes left to play in the second period here at Ingalls.
Well, Adlon, one more element to all these lineup changes and a lot of line shifts we've seen from the Bulldogs tonight is that they're going to have a quick turnaround. They're welcoming in the UMass Minutemen here on Tuesday night. That game will be on Yale All-Access, but the Bulldogs need to keep their legs fresh. They're going to have to play in just 72 hours.
O'Gara with the puck. Finds Cooper. Ball's trying to get into the zone. Hacking away at it in front of his own bench. Orzetti joining in to help out. Zero puck movement here as it's stuck on the blue line, waiting for that whistle to blow.
And finally, linesman Richard Patrick gets the whistle there. Both teams seem content to just fight for that puck, perhaps keep it pinned against the boards for as long as the officials would let them. Either way, we'll get the whistle here now. 4:49 to play in the second period.
Bulldogs are really going to have to dig deep here as they look to get something on net. Pick up their, we were talking about intensity and speed before the game. Definitely seen some speed from the Bulldogs, not as much intensity. You have to get down and dirty in front of the net in order to beat Grosnick. Miller back to O'Gara. O'Gara slides it across to Young. Young will shoot it into the zone. Weberg on the forecheck. He's challenged by Gostisbehere. Miller throws it out into the slot. Young is not expecting that puck as he barely keeps it in. Agostino behind the net. Carr shoots up Miller, waiting for that pass. Weberg with a shot just off the side netting behind Grosnick. Agostino picks it up now as he fends off Gostisbehere, and he gets a shot off that is collected by Grosnick.
A lot of excitement here from the Yale fans as they saw a Weberg shot hit the side of the net, wrestle the net, and even bounce Troy Grosnick's water bottle up a little bit. I think a lot of people thought he'd found the back of the net there, but just the side, and that one doesn't count. So we'll stay 1-0 here, Union.
The Bulldogs will get a line change, sending out Lagunier, Balch, and Wilson. Lagunier will take the face-off for the Bulldogs. Lagunier wins it forward, but is picked up by Stewart, thrown around behind that by Forgard. Fallon stops it on the red line. Back over to Killian. Killian, risky pass over to Fallon. Fallon up to Lagunier, trying to tip it to Balch. Intercepted by the Dutchman. Coming out now is Stewart over to Coda. Coda looking for a shot blocked by Kelly. Another shot goes behind the net, bounces back up to the point. Another shot wide of the net by Stewart. Wilson now flipping it out. Lagunier trying to catch that puck before it goes back in. Coda over the blue line. Coming in on Malcolm, goes off the side netting. Now trying not to run into Malcolm. Killian now battling with DePauli behind the net. Puck comes out into the neutral zone. Picked up by Bodie, who shoots it across to Roy. Thrown on net. Malcolm stops it. As Killian finds Bourbonnais on the side. Bourbonnais now through center ice. Flips it into the zone. Bulldogs will get a change on defense. Bourbonnais and Cooper working together on the side here. Puck goes back behind the net. Picked up by Coburn. Coburn up to Hatch. Goes at it with Day. Now back behind the net to Bodie. Bodie skating it up through the zone. As he gains the neutral zone over the blue line. Gonna flip it in.
And that one's going to merit a call on the Bulldogs. Wait to get the official call there from the officiating crew. It's going to be Clinton Bourbonnais heading off to the box. He's going to set 2 minutes here, and Union's going to get another chance on the power play. Just 1 for 2 on the night. They converted on one of the 2 penalties on the 5-on-3. The other one expired without a Union goal.
See Wilson and Balch take their spots at the top of the box. Wilson on the face-off ties up the center. Back over to Gostisbehere, looking for a shot saved by Malcolm. Back to Coburn on the point for Gostisbehere, who shoots it in over to Ciampini. Back to the point as Union sets up their power play. Bodie now goes across the crease. Malcolm deflects that one. Gostisbehere picks it up in the neutral zone for a regroup.
Well, that's a big play there. This is a big kill for the Bulldogs now as we're getting close to the final 2 minutes of this period.
Gostisbehere gets it into the zone as O'Gara steps up. Challenge him. Wilson now with the puck, skating through the neutral zone, picking up speed as he just throws it back in. Bulldogs will get a full change here on the penalty kill. About 1:13 left on the penalty. Fallon coming up from behind his own net. Chips it off the glass, and they'll go all the way down the ice for an icing.
No icing here. As the Ingles faithful here are letting the officiating crew know there's no way that can be an icing there, as linesman Scott Wheeler had his arms raised and whistled for it. Now he's realizing the mistake that the Bulldogs, of course, are shorthanded. You can't ice the puck when you're shorthanded. So now the game becomes, where do they drop the puck?
Well, I would say you go all the way back to Union's end, which is what they look like they're doing. Union was also, I think, a little bit confused too, so they thought it would be an icing. Now see Bodie arguing with the referee. We had some discontent from the Union fans over here on the side. Puck 1 to Fallon, goes up into the netting.
I was about to say they were about to be even more discontent if Fallon can put that one in there.
Would not be too happy on that one. We'll see Wilson go out this time with Cooper. Fallon and Duick on the points. Draw 1 by Yale as Cooper keeps it deep in the Dutchman's end. Coming back around the net is Bodie. Bodie up to Juris. Juris finds Carr, who flips it in. Duick now trying to clear it out. Hits Bodie on the point. Carr throwing it back behind the net. Fallon attempting to keep it there as he now throws it off the glass. Now Bulldogs will get a bit of a reprieve. 30 seconds left on the penalty kill. Bodie coming back around his own net, skating through the zone. Juris over to Carr. Carr coming over the blue line, turns away from pressure, throwing it back down the boards. It comes back out to Gingras. Union working, goes into the slot as Bodie tries to get a shot off. Yale's penalty kill will have none of that. 2 seconds left to kill. Yale gets the clear. Referee goes down. That will be an icing.
Clinton Bourbonnais absolutely destroyed linesman Richard Patry, and Patry's letting him know about it. Bourbonnais coming out of the box made no effort to avoid Patry, just absolutely ran him over. Hey, what can I say? It was a fantastic hit by Bourbonnais there, and I guess he can't take a penalty for running over the official.
Be more attentive there on the ice. Bourbonnais on the face-off wins it, chipping it out over the blue line, forcing the Dutchman out of the Bulldogs end. Ciampini now in the neutral zone, banks it off the glass, will go behind Malcolm's net. O'Gara trying to fend off stick as Malcolm holds it against the pipe. O'Gara and Young doing a great job of boxing out the Dutchman.
Well, just 18.1 seconds here, barring any goals. We're going to head into the second intermission with just a 1-0 lead still for the Dutchman. No scores this period. Pretty even-keeled period. Both teams seem to have settled into this game. Neither team really generating significant number of chances compared to the other.
Face-off goes right into Malcolm. It's like Union center pushed it through past Miller. Miller will get another talking to by the referee.
And Miller's had a tough time with officials this weekend. As we mentioned earlier, a couple disputes with referee Phil Kitchen last night in that same face-off dot.
Miller wins the draw back to Fallon. Fallon over to Miller, back to Lagunier. Agostino trying to step up and grab that one, but Union is too quick. Coming out now is Coburn as the period winds down here at Ingles. The Bulldogs still down a goal to Union.
And that's how we'll head into the third period. Union still holding on to a slight edge in the shots unofficially, 25-19. But either way, pretty even period, both squads. Should set the stage for a very interesting third period here at Ingles Rink. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back in a couple of minutes for our coverage here during our second intermission. Stay tuned, folks. We'll see you soon.
I'm Andrew Miller, number 17. Stay tuned for more Yale men's hockey on Yale All-Access.
Hello and welcome back to Ingles Rink. This is Adlon Adams here with Yale All-Access. I am here with Dave Baseggio, class of '89, former captain for the Bulldogs, one of Yale's top offensive defensemen. He was an all-league player. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
My pleasure.
So can you tell me a little bit about your time at Yale?
Well, you know, you look back, it's probably, they always say it's best time of your life, and you look back and you agree. You know, I had 4 great years here. I was very fortunate. Not only a great experience academically, but I had a great group of guys that I came through the hockey program with. Tim Taylor was an excellent coach and certainly a mentor of mine. And it was just 4 great years, and I forged many relationships that I still have today.
Yeah. Could you tell me about your favorite hockey memory?
Here at Yale, it was, I know my freshman year, we had a very good team. At one point, we were number 4 in the nation, and we went into the Boston Garden, and we lost a real heartbreaker, triple overtime game to Cornell. And although we lost the game, I think it was really neat playing in the Boston Garden and playing in that. And I guess back here at Ingles Rink, there's 2 memories that really stick out. My senior year, Harvard came in here undefeated, number 1 in the nation, 15-0, and we knocked them off. And that was a pretty special feeling. And I remember another time we were down 4-0 to Brown at one point, and we came back and won the game 5-4. So there's little things like that you just don't forget, and they're really nice memories.
Seems from a lot of the former players I've talked to that Harvard is one of their best memories, especially beating Harvard, not just playing them.
Absolutely. That's once you put on the Yale blue, I think you just I don't think I own anything crimson in my wardrobe.
Well, I would hope not. Do you have a favorite non-hockey memory at Yale?
Wow, I don't know if I can. Yeah, there's a lot of good memories, to be honest, and it's like I said, I had a lot of good guys that even my dorm. I lived in Silliman, and my roommates and the friends and the people I met there. We just every day was an adventure. Every day was fun, and it was a great place to go. And like I said, there's too many to single one out, but there's a lot of positive things that went on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. So can you talk a little bit about what you're currently doing?
Right now I'm the director of pro scouting for the Anaheim Ducks. With no NHL going, my days are a little bit longer right now. Unfortunately, all I've been doing is the American Hockey League and some college free agents. And this is nice. I live up in Brantford, so this is a home game for me. And it's always nice to come back to Ingles Rink. It's a great building, great atmosphere. And, you know, I think Keith Elaine in the last bunch of years here has really done great things with this program. It makes you be proud to be an alumni here.
Well, that's great. Could you talk a little bit about, as being a scout, what you think or how you think the team is playing right now, what the players should be looking to do going into the third period down a goal?
Well, you know, they have a pretty good goaltender union. I think you got to get some traffic and some more pucks to the net, and get maybe a dirty goal, a greasy goal, something off a stick or a skate, and just get some more traffic to the net. I think they're almost trying too hard at times, it looks like, out there, and trying to make prettier or even a better play that's not there. But I think Yale, I think they're going to come out flying this period and really put some pressure on the goaltender, and that's what they need to do, and that's their MO. So I have confidence they'll come out and put on a good show in this third.
And where do you think the program is heading? Oh,
gosh, it's been heading upward for the last bunch of years now. So, you know, the sky's the limit. I think Keith's an excellent coach. He's one of the best coaches in the country, and you know, they keep getting kids. They keep coming, and they're fun to watch. I love the attacking style. They go after teams. They don't sit back, and they're entertaining. And you know, hopefully they get some breaks and go down the stretch here and win some key games and keep going. But I think the program has been on the rise for a while now, and it will continue to keep going that way.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Dave. It's been a pleasure to
My
listen
pleasure.
to you.
Thank you very much.
And now we will look to your screen for the stats for this game. And going into the third period, Yale currently has 19 shots on goal. The Union's 25, not too far behind. Malcolm coming up big with 24 saves. Groznik with 19 so far. On faceoffs, they're pretty even. Power plays, Yale is 0 for 5. Union 1 for 3. Pretty even in penalty minutes as well. Neither team doing too much to capitalize on those.
So welcome back into the booth here. Just taking a look at some of these stats from the second period, the stats really tell you the story that we've seen from the game so far, especially what in the second period. It's been a pretty even game. Perhaps the first 10 minutes of the game, Union really looked the stronger of the two teams. But as the first period wound down, Yale really seemed to balance it out, and they were playing a pretty level game. Throughout the majority of the second period, Adlon, I felt that Yale and Union were pretty evenly strong. Neither team had a full set of fantastic scoring opportunities, but at the same time, it didn't really feel that either team dominated the game and would have deserved a set of opportunities like that. And coming into the third, Yale's real challenge here is to shake that up. Of course, Union, if they're content to play the rest of the game like that, they have a 1-0 lead right now. They'd be perfectly happy to escape here with a 1-0 victory. But the burden is going to be on this Yale team to try and shake things up here and put some more pressure on the Union defense and on Troy Grosnick, as you were talking about with Dave a moment ago.
As Dave was saying, the Bulldogs really need to get in front of net, get the traffic in front of net, get some tips, screens, anything, as he was talking about those dirty, greasy goals. Bulldogs really need to distract Grosnick instead of just look to set up the beautiful goal. Anything right now is what the Bulldogs need.
Well, absolutely. It's kind of tough at times, perhaps mentally, for this team. These guys have so much skill on the team, and the way these Yale teams have looked the past couple of years, you can go back and look at guys Backman, O'Neill, Little. Those guys have been fantastic finishers and fantastic scorers, and perhaps sometimes it's difficult to get away from the mindset of trying to make pretty passes and try and score pretty goals and just focus, as Dave said, on banging the puck home, no matter how it goes in, just scoring.
Looking here at the Yale Players Survey, they all had a survey on different kinds of things, and they said that Lagunier had the hardest shot. I would like to see him get more shots going. We haven't seen much of him lately. He is Yale's point leader so far with 13 points, 8 goals, and 5 assists. Really like to see him step up and get more shots on net.
Yeah, Lags has settled down a little bit after a red-hot start to the year. He scored 5 goals in the first 6 games. Cooled down a little bit since then, but still a fantastic threat for this Yale team.
And as we begin the third period, Union stuck in their zone with Lagunier and Bourbonnais on the forecheck. Puck goes out over the blue line. Bourbonnais throws it back in past Gottsesbear. Back behind the net, Bourbonnais hard on the forecheck. O'Gara pinching down from the point. Gains possession for the Bulldogs. Weberg trying to help him out. Goes back to the other side. Miller now coming off the bench in the corner. Coming around the top of the face-off circle. Shot ricochets off a stick. Agostino coming on to Obukowski on the point, tipped by Miller. Agostino's stick gets tied up, and there's a delayed penalty.
And I think the Bulldogs would have been irate had there not been. Kenny Agostino was trying to get on that loose puck there. Just couldn't get a stick on it as he was tied up by Union defenseman. Josh Juris is going to sit, not for the hold on Agostino, instead for the trip that immediately followed it. But right there, that's exactly what we talked about. That's a great chance for the Bulldogs. They got a shot on net. They got traffic in front for that redirection and almost managed to score on the rebound.
Juris definitely realized that Agostino was a dangerous player right there in front of Grosnick. It was a smart play to tie him up.
So this will be opportunity number 6 for the Bulldogs on the night on the power play. 0 for 5 so far.
Coming into the zone, Miller throws it into the corner for Wilson to pick up on the point. Fallon back to Lagunier. Wilson letting it go past him. Miller stepping up off the point. Wilson with the puck now on the side. Gives it to Miller. Miller back to Wilson. Wilson turning away from pressure from Stewart. Wilson, Lagunier in the corner. Wilson cycling back to Lagunier. Lagunier up the boards to Miller. Miller to Fallon. Fallon shot blocked by Novak. Going back deep in his own end. Fallon comes behind his own net. Fallon shooting up to Bourbonnais over the red line. About a minute left on the power play for the Bulldogs. Bourbonnais in the corner with Cooper. Weber joining them as well. Cooper in the corner. The Yale Precision Marching Band getting some cheers going for the Bulldogs on the man advantage. Union now with an offensive rush on the penalty kill, saved by Malcolm.
Ingles Rink has filled up a bit here tonight. A little slow getting filled early on this Saturday evening. The student section now pretty full. Of course, it's reading week here at Yale University, a period where students are writing papers, getting ready, preparing for final exams. So, of course, it's understandable, perhaps, most students a little occupied at this time in the year. A little tougher to get out here to Ingles Rink, but still a good turnout in support of the Bulldogs tonight.
Well, in my opinion, I would say that a hockey game is a good study break. I don't know about you, Max. And I love coming down here to Ingles to watch the Bulldogs. Fallon now behind the net, skating around, comes up to Lagunier. Lagunier over to Agostino. Agostino over the blue line, trying to find Miller's pass intercepted, shot off the stick of Bodie. And that will be a penalty as Miller, furious, gestures at the referee.
I think Miller has a right to be upset there. I think Bodie went down on his own. Instead, Miller's going to get the call on the hook. So it's going to be 21 seconds of 4-on-4 and then 1:39 for Union on the power play. But going back there, I felt Bodie was kind of going down there. Miller's stick happened to be in the vicinity. And he was obviously upset with the call. Regardless, he'll sit 2 minutes on the hook.
Off the face-off, Bourbonnais will be on the penalty kill. It is one back to O'Gara. 4-on-4 here at Ingles. Bulldogs down 1-0 to the Dutchman. Coming in is Novak, throwing it on Malcolm as Malcolm covers that one up. Malcolm doing a nice job tracking the puck from around the side of the zone.
Yeah, just going back a moment, fortunate series of events there for Union on the whole. They not only got the penalty there on Miller to get themselves to 4-on-4 here and then onto the power play, but Kyle Boding almost scored in his own net there. Fortunate for the Dutchman, as far as they're concerned, that one wasn't deflected in for an own goal.
Coming in, thrown on net, Carr blocks that one as Union now goes up 5-on-4 on the Bulldogs. Wilson swats that one out of the zone. Thrown up into the neutral zone, glove down by Juris. Juris over to Carr. Union trying to weave through the neutral zone as puck is given back to Carr on the far side. Bulldogs try to kill this penalty. Bodie to Carr, shot and save by Malcolm.
Well, Union trying to work Jeff Malcolm side to side there, looking for that one-time opportunity. Nothing doing there. Malcolm doing a good job squeezing that puck and hanging on to it as the Dutchman here get a chance to switch up their power play unit, send out a different squad here. 1:16 remaining on their man advantage.
Bourbonnais on the face-off wins it back to Fallon. Fallon slides it over to Lagunier. Dewick now throwing it out, and that will be
hand pass there called. That's the signal from the official. Antoine Lagunier discussing with the official as he towers over him there. But that puck's going to come all the way back down into the Yale zone as they're going to rule that the Bulldogs moved it along with the hand.
Draw one by Union over to Coburn. Coburn back to Gossesbear. Union in front of the net, score for the Dutchman on the power play.
And well, that was a very, very pretty passing play there. They moved the puck around. Gossesbear moved it around down to Ciampini to Malcolm's left. He fed it across, right across Malcolm's crease. It was either Coburn there, Ciampini leading them through. Bourbonnais leading the Eli's through the handshake line. So it looks like they're going to say he's the one who knocked that one home. Bourbonnais, his first goal on the season, number 12 in his career. 59th game here for the Bulldogs.
Very impressive play by the Bulldogs. They did not.
But we hear now from an PA announcer, Mark Reba, sorry to cut in there, Adlon, that this play is going to be under video review. Coach Elaine discussing there with Richard Patry. Folks watching this game on Yale All-Access, we apologize for some technical difficulties we had right there. Windows operating system decided not to cooperate with us for a little bit here during our coverage. But just to recap the scoring, it was Greg Coburn a couple moments ago off a pretty feed from Daniel Ciampini, and Kyle Bodie, he got the secondary assist there on that one. That gave Union a 2-0 lead on the power play, and moments ago, a scrum in front of Troy Grosnick's net produce what appears to be a Yale goal. We're waiting for the signal, and it is a good Yale goal. Clinton Bourbonnais led them through the handshake line, so it seems that Clinton Bourbonnais is going to get the goal there. Number 1 on the season for him. Number 28 rather, Antoine Lagunier is going to get the credit. I don't know why Clinton Bourbonnais led them through the line there. Perhaps the video review was partially to confirm who indeed did score that goal. Antoine Lagunier gets the credit. Regardless, it's 2-1 Union now, 14:32 to go here in the third.
Yale trying to get a comeback in the third period. 14 minutes left to play in the game. Puck goes it back to Killian in his own end. Killian chips it off the board. Stewart trying to glide that down, misses it. Foreguard picks it off. Be tipped into the zone by Juris. Killian trying to get it around the boards, finds Balch waiting for the pass. Balch up to Day. Killian stepping in off defense, coming to the zone, looking for a drop pass to Wilson. Now Agostino coming in, shot and save. Agostino goes down. Weberg working in the corner. Godesberg takes him out. Yale fans not too pleased.
I'm going to give a hand pass here on the Bulldogs. They're going to say that Nico Weberg shuffled that one along to Kenny Agostino, and as a result, this draw is going to come all the way back down in front of Jeff Malcolm's net here. 13:46 to play in the third. You're watching Yale men's ice hockey on Yale All-Access. I'm Max Valenstein here with Adlon Adams up in our booth atop Ingles Rink.
Puck one back, shot deflected off of Weberg. Looks like he's hurting after that one. Godesberg stepping up to poke that one out of the way. Ciampini throws it in. Fallon behind the net, rings it around the boards, picked up. Obukowski trying to get a hit as Miller picks it up. Nice elbow by Ciampini. That will be a delayed penalty.
It's an elbow that's going to draw him a call there, perhaps a little too high for the officials' likes there on Andrew Miller.
Puck up to Bourbonnais, back to Obukowski in front of an empty Yale net.
Yale is passing the puck dangerously around in front of their own net. You got to be careful.
Obukowski over the red line, up to Bourbonnais. They'll be stopped by Kyle Bodie.
So we'll finally get the whistle there, and another power play opportunity for the Bulldogs here. It's Daniel Ciampini, a sophomore from Concord, Ontario. He's going to sit 2 minutes for what I believe to be an elbow on Yale's captain, Andrew Miller. 12:58 to go in the third. Bulldogs chance here to claw back into the game on the power play. 0 for 6 so far tonight with the man advantage. 0 for 12 this weekend. Boy, what a time it would be to break out of that slump.
Union wins the faceoff, clearing it out of their zone. O'Gara holds the blue line. Pressure from Carr, chipping it back to Bourbonnais. This will be Yale's second unit on the power play of Cooper, Bourbonnais, and Weberg. Killian stepping off the blue line to glove it down. Goes back around the boards to Carr. O'Gara picks it up outside the zone, shoots it across to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais through the neutral zone, off the stick of Cooper, and that'll be shot back in by Carr to Malcolm. Malcolm holding on to it for Killian. So the Bulldogs put out their first unit of Lagunier, Wilson, and Agostino. Wilson ringing around the boards. Over to Agostino. Foreguard chips that one out. Minute 15 left on the power play for the Elis. Malcolm plays it over to Wilson. Skating it over to Lagunier. Lagunier over the blue line. Over to Miller. Miller looking for someone in the slot. Back to Lagunier. Lagunier to Fallon at the top of the zone. Back over to Lagunier. Lagunier shot blocked by Hatch. Fallon picks that one up. Miller now at the top of the zone. To Lagunier. Lagunier back to Miller. Back to Lagunier. Lagunier the shot that's blocked by Stewart. Miller now with the puck gets stopped by Hatch. Now Miller gains the zone for the Bulldogs. Miller over to Agostino. One-timer saved by Groznik. Miller holding the zone on the power play over to Agostino. Agostino coming around the circles, looking for a shot and off the shin pad. of a Dutchman's defenseman. 15 seconds left on the power play. Bounces back to Malcolm.
Oh, great exciting series for the Bulldogs there. You have both teams standing on their benches, leading over the board, trying to watch that one there. Bulldogs just couldn't get that one clean look in on Grosnick.
And Union will now be 5-on-5 with the Bulldogs on the power play. Union really sacrificing their bodies to keep that puck away from their own net. Bourbonnais on the red line being challenged by Ciampini. Goes into Union's end behind the net. Gossesberg back up the zone to Ciampini. Rolls off of Balch's hit. Killian now picks it up behind his own net. Throwing it off the boards. Looking for Day. That is intercepted by Wilkins. Obukowski tried to push him off the puck as he holds it on the boards. Obukowski and Carr squirts out over to Balch. Balch throwing that one into center ice, looking for a breakout pass. Killian now chips it out. Into their own end is Stewart over to Coburn. Coming up the boards to Wilkins, looking for Novak. He'll will now gain possession. Young up to Ward. Carr at center ice, backhands that one into the corner. Malcolm stops it for O'Gara, wrapping around the boards to Ward. Then up to Weberg. Weberg and Ward struggling on the sideboard as that's a fake shot onto the glass by Gostisberg. Up to Weberg in the neutral zone looking for Ward, and Grosnick will cover that as Ward falls on to Grosnick.
The Union defenseman taking some offense there to Yale forward Alex Ward coming in on net, but no harm done. Ward, a Burlington, Vermont native, playing in his 5th career game as a member of the Bulldogs, 4th game this season. Ward, a walk-on member of this team, actually, one of the few guys on the ice for the Bulldogs who was not a member of Coach Keith Elaine's recruiting classes throughout the years.
And Yale will get a line change with Day, Cooper, and Orzetti. Pretty young line, 2 rookies joining Day on the ice. Killian trying to pinch on the play as Day steps in behind him, throwing it deep into the zone. Cooper coming in hard with a hit. Orzetti picks it up off the boards. Orzetti pushed by Bodie off the puck, and it goes over the head of Fallon. Fallon will chip that over to Killian. Fallon was named the fastest on skates by his teammates. Killian throwing it on net, and that'll be gloved by Grosnick.
Interesting to see here that Yale coach Keith Elaine going with the pairing of Killian and Fallon again. Those two played together from the majority of the games last season as the freshman defensive pair. They've been split up for the majority of this year as Matt Killian hasn't seen as much playing time as Tommy Fallon has, but they're out there together tonight, at least in the later stages of tonight's game.
Bourbonnais will now take the ice, joined by Lagunier and Balch. Looks like Coach Elaine is mixing up the lines again. Balch goes into the boards off a hit from Wilkins as the puck now comes out up to Juris. Juris looking for Carr. Obukowski clears that one out of the zone. Bodie shoots it back in. Right off the clear. Obukowski behind his own net. Hang up to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais tips it out of the zone. Bodie catches it and throws it back in yet again. Juris now with the puck, challenged by Duick. Coming out into the slot, right on the crease. Malcolm gets the stick on that one. Behind the net, Juris coming around, slides it back to Carr. Carr out to the point to Stewart. Stewart throwing it in front of the net. Duick stops it with his stick, and Lagunier will throw it out. Grosnick leaving it for Gostisbehere. Behind the net, Agostino trying to forecheck the puck along with Weberg. Thrown up off the boards. Miller shoots it back down the ice. Agostino racing with Stewart to gain possession. On the side goes to Weberg. Weberg on the side over to Agostino. Agostino in the corner. back to Weberg. Weberg coming around the face-off dot, use it for O'Gara. O'Gara into the slot, misses the stick of Agostino. He's tied up by Stewart. Agostino goes down. Miller over to Fallon. Fallon with a shot just wide of the net. O'Gara pinching down. Miller trying to step in and help him out. Gives it over to Fallon. Now we poked away by Bodie. Miller throws it in off the glass. That will bounce off the door. Back to Weberg. Weberg trying to get a play going with Miller. Miller coming out of the corner with the puck. Finds Fallon. Shot off the stick of Agostino. Goes over on the side to O'Gara. Picked up by Simpson now against Fallon. Simpson gets a shot off of Fallon's skate, and Malcolm will cover the puck.
Adlon, a lot of time going by here. Only 6 minutes and 38 seconds now left in this contest from Ingles Rink. Bulldogs still trailing the Dutchman by a goal, 2-1 here. It's going to come down to the wire, but in these long stretches of play, as we've seen several times tonight with that whistles, that time just really winds off the clock, and the Bulldogs are really need to get something going here soon.
Off the face-off, puck goes over to Day, who throws it out of the zone, up to Coburn. Coburn throwing it back in. Union has been very strong on defense, catching those pucks in the neutral zone and throwing them back across the ice into the opposite corner. Wilson coming through over the blue line, coming in on net, throws it across the crease. Orzetti not able to get a stick down. Killian now looking for a shot blocked by Coda. Day on the side, throws it over to Grosnick.
One other look there at that shot by Killian that Coda got in front of. Union has done and continues to do a very good job of getting their bodies in front of Yale shots. We've seen it on their penalty kill, which has been successful all 6 times tonight, I believe. But we've also seen it, just moments now in even strength play. Union just denying Yale clean looks on net.
Off the face-off, they'll go down into the corner. Juris throwing it up to Carr. Obukowski trying to turn away from pressure. Has 2 Dutchmen on him, thrown over the head. The referee over to Duick. Duick off the glass, back into the neutral zone to Bodie. Bodie coming through to defensive partners. Stewart up the ice to Juris. Walsh coming in with a hit. Cooper will pick that puck up, but stopped by Carr. Ward coming in on the forecheck, trying to contain the play. So it comes over the top of the face-off circle. Obukowski with a shot well wide of the net. Now behind the net, over to Stewart. Stewart skating out over the red line. Duick picking it up over to Bourbonnais. Carr picks that off his stick and will throw it down deep into the Bulldogs' end. Malcolm challenged by Ciampini as he comes out of his net, or Fallon trying to hold the puck. Back up to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais off the board looking for Lagunier. Lagunier in the corner. Challenged by Gossesbear. Over to Wilson. Wilson around the net, batted down by Lagunier. Referee is signaling on the play. There was no whistle blown as the players all just seemed to stop.
Well, that puck there played by a high stick by the Elis. They were hesitant. They didn't want to touch the puck there in the corner because they know that the moment they did, they'd get a whistle and the faceoff coming all the way back down into Jeff Malcolm's neck of the woods. They're hoping perhaps a Dutchman player would poke his blade in there and try and knock the puck, but no luck. Puck came to a halt and the officials blew it dead, sending the faceoff all the way down to Jeff Malcolm's right.
Miller on the faceoff. It's one over to Simpson. Shot off the inside of Ciampini's leg. Puck is thrown back out to Miller in the neutral zone. Miller speeding down the ice. Shot and Wagner scoring for the Bulldogs! Score for the Bulldogs!
Oh, wow.
That was a great play. Miller carried that puck all the way down the ice. He set up that rebound perfectly, just getting the shot off the pad of Grosnick.
Well, folks, I don't know if our camera captured it for you in the corner there, but that celebration was just raw emotion for the Bulldogs. Gus Young comes flying through the center of the ice, picks up the rebound on an Andrew Miller shot, and wrists it over Grosnick's pad. But the celebration in the corner, the dog pile that ensued, looked as if the Elis had just won the conference championship and won an NCAA tournament game in overtime. Either way, just the relief, the excitement. Miller pounding on the ice as his teammates piled on Gus Young. Fantastic sight here for this Yale team.
Miller definitely utilized the angles on that one by drawing Grosnick out on that wide save, forcing a rebound and just waiting for one of his other players to pick it up as Wilkins now into his own shot. Saved by Malcolm as he grabs his own rebound.
And so this Yale squad that we've seen this year really feasts on the energy, the excitement, the buzz in the rink. Can they use this momentum here to just get themselves another goal? Perhaps just send it to overtime, or can they get that third goal here in regulation?
And we have Bourbonnais, O'Gara, and Lagunier on offense for the Bulldogs. One back to Union. Union throws it in between their defensemen. Haven't seen that yet. That breakdown off the face-off from the Dutchman yet as DePauli tips it into the neutral zone. O'Gara picks it up, throws it over to defensive partner Young off the boards up to Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais deep into the zone, followed by Lagunier and Wilson. Lagunier up to O'Gara. O'Gara, the shot off the breezers of Gostisbehere, looks like, as the Union enters the neutral zone. And that will be a whistle as some of the players get a little feisty on the opposite side of the ice.
Gus Young's drawn at it with David Roy over there. The Bulldogs, I think, perhaps a little lucky here to get that offsides call there on Union. Not a penalty, as an extra Yale skater, I believe it was Kenny Agostino, who just hopped onto the ice as the puck was being played right there in front of the Yale bench. Perhaps a potential for too many men on the ice call. And the officials seem to be discussing something here in front of the Yale bench, perhaps exactly that, whether there will be a penalty called on the Bulldogs. Unclear thus far.
Miller and Agostino will take the ice. There's discussion going on between the officials and the coaching staff from both teams. Miller, Agostino, and Weberg for the Bulldogs. Off the face-off, Miller gets tied up, manages to get it back to Duick. Duick back to Miller. Nice give and go play. Miller throws it in to Weberg. Bodie trying to fake the pass. Both players leave the puck. Will go over to Simpson. Thrown over the head of Bodie. There's another called off by the referee. Miller off the boards. Over to Bodie. Bodie trying to throw it across to an absent Union player as Duick gets it deep in the zone for the Bulldogs. About 3 minutes left to play in a tied game here at Ingalls Rink. Fallon over to Obakowski. Obakowski off the boards, gets nailed into Union's bench, and there will be a delayed penalty on the Dutchman. Looked like Obakowski got an elbow to the head right into Union's bench.
And Daniel Ciampini again is going to sit here for the Dutchman. 2 minutes. Haven't seen the official signal yet from linesman Scott Wheeler. Regardless, the Bulldogs 0 for 7 on the power play tonight. 0 for 6 this weekend. Have a chance here, and I'd expect Coach Lane to consider using his timeout. And here we go. Andrew Miller signals for that timeout just now. They're going to have 2 minutes here on the power play. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in this third period. As I was saying, 0 for 13 this weekend. They're in a slump right now, and this is as good of a chance as you get to break out of a slump.
Max, I think I've seen a renewed energy in the Bulldogs after that goal. As we were talking about, that celebration in the corner definitely showed how much the Bulldogs care about each other and how excited they get, especially when they tie things up here at Ingalls.
Well, absolutely, Adlon. You know, we talked about this power play struggling tonight and last night. They were fantastic against Brown. And moving beyond that, though, they've been big, this power play has been, in clutch situations this year. On that big road trip out west in Colorado, the game-winning goal at Denver, power play goal for the Bulldogs there, gave them a 2-1 win. And a night later against Colorado College, Andrew Miller scored a huge goal on the power play to tie that game at 5, send it to overtime, and a winning goal there gave the Bulldogs a 6-5 win and a sweep out west. So we'll see what this Yale squad can do here, if they can take advantage of this terrific chance to seal a win here at Ingalls.
I'm sure head coach Keith Lane just let the players know that if you want a chance to win the game, here it is. It's been given to you on the man advantage. Fallon now with the shot right into the glove of Groznik. Great shot by Fallon, quick on the draw. Groznik there to see it into his glove.
Oh, absolutely, Adlon. This is their chance to win. That's what Elaine probably told them. And a goal here, a power play goal, would wipe out an entire night's worth of frustration with the man advantage.
Off the face-off, Wilson gets tied up, goes over to Lagunier. Lagunier up to Fallon. Fallon with a shot. Rebound. Lagunier with another shot. There's a block. Fallon over to Lagunier. Lagunier, another shot right over the crossbar. Miller holds the blue line off the glass. Miller trying to keep it in, but it goes deep into the Bulldogs' end. Malcolm holding it for Fallon. 1:30 left on the power play. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game. Miller over the blue line, dumps it into the opposite corner. That's picked up by Carr and thrown back into Yale's end. Union really showing Yale why they are ranked so highly on the penalty kill.
They've been terrific tonight, 7 for 7 thus far in the PK.
Weberg coming into the zone, chips it for Cooper as he takes out a Union player. In the corner is Carr with Weberg, Killian, and Cooper. Yale's second power play unit is held against the boards. Yale fans are beating the glass there. His Carr's face right there.
The Bulldogs either want that puck to score it out, or they want a quick whistle to get the draw here. Every moment that puck stays in the corner there, guys just kicking at it, eats away from this power play time for the Yale squad.
34 seconds left on the power play. Cooper dumps it in to Bourbonnais. Coming into the zone, over to Weberg. Weberg back to Bourbonnais. Back to Weberg. Working together in the corner. It comes out of Union's end. 19 seconds left on the power play. Back up to Obakowski, Yale's #1 unit. Now back on the ice. Miller, Lagunier, and Agostino goes deep. 8 seconds left on the power play. Picked up. Miller gloves it down. Challenged by Bodie. Goes deep in the corner. Yale and Union now even strength. Agostino with the puck, trying to get around Bodie as it goes back out to Obakowski on the point. Shot blocked by Roy. Fallon there to pick it up. Back up his defensive partner. 30 seconds left. Over to Agostino. Agostino looking to get a play going as he handles the puck on the far side. He goes down. Miller and Agostino. Agostino with the puck, loses it. Gottsberg. Miller picks it up over to Obakowski. Shot by Obakowski. Saved by Groznik.
Ooh, a good look there from Obakowski as he looks up onto the rafters here at Ingles Rink. He thought he had a chance there to put that one in on net. And the Yale fans here getting very jumpy in the final moments of this game. And you mentioned it, Adlon. Absolutely a rejuvenated Yale team after that Gus Young goal brought them even here. They've seen some energy and life that I don't think they really showed at any point in today's game.
Wilson will take the face-off. 16 seconds left to play in the third period. Coming out, guys, Onette Coburn up to Stewart, leading the last offensive charge for Union as it goes deep into the Bulldogs' end. Over to Novak. Young stopping him in his tracks as they both go down. Coming on the back net, Malcolm stops that play, and there will...
And that will end the period there. Absolute dangerous opportunity for Union. That puck laying there in front of Jeff Malcolm. Just had a chance there to knock that one home in the final moments of regulation. But nonetheless, we're going to head into the overtime period here. 2-2, number 15 Yale hosting number 12 Union at Ingles Rink. Folks, it's the first time we've seen overtime this year for the Bulldogs at home. They, of course, played in 2 games with the extra session out west earlier this year and also earned a tie against Dartmouth in the first game of the year. The Bulldogs then 2-0-1 in games that head to overtime this season. They went into the extra session 8 times last year. The most recent game going to overtime here at Ingles Rink was on Saturday, March 3rd against the Princeton Tigers in the ECAC playoffs. The Bulldogs fell 5-4 in that contest. Andrew Kaloff for Princeton got the winner in a terrific snapshot, beating Nick Marisic there in that game. Well, Adlon, heading into tonight's overtime, you definitely see a new life, a new energy from the Bulldogs. Do you expect them to play aggressively here in this period? Or, given the ECAC rules, right, a win is 2 points, a loss is no points. You don't get that loser point like you do in the NHL. Do you expect them to play conservatively a little bit, try and play for that point?
I think it will depend on where the puck is on the ice. The neutral zone, they'll definitely have to be a little more cautious and conservative. Those turnovers in the neutral zone could be deadly for the Bulldogs, especially if one of Union's top scorers, such as Bodie or Carr, gets a hold of it. I think they will come out more aggressive offensively. I mean, what do they have to lose if it's already in Union's end?
Absolutely. You have to be careful, as you mentioned, with all of those cross-ice passes, with stretch passes, with anything that gives opponents an opportunity to break out in alone or get an odd man rush. So 5 minutes of overtime play here at Ingles. Sudden death. Next goal wins. If no one scores in 5 minutes, tonight's game will be a tie, and each team will pick up 1 point in the standings.
Off the face-off, Miller and Bodie tie each other up. It goes out over to Simpson on the side. Weber chasing down Ciampini on the sideboard, joined by O'Gara. Miller watching to wait for that puck to come out. Goes into the corner. O'Gara and Ciampini back out to Simpson. Simpson coming out of the corner with the puck, shot by Simpson and saved by Malcolm as O'Gara trips over Malcolm's outstretched hands. O'Gara trying to track his player all the way, wasn't really aware where Malcolm was, just wanted to make sure that his player did not get his hands on the puck. Out for the Bulldogs now will be Wilson, Bourbonnais, and Lagunière. Wilson wins it, gets thrown out of the Bulldogs' end. Gostis Bear chasing it down with pressure from Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais over to Lagunière, and it goes right over the crossbar. Lagunière not really expecting that puck. Now comes back over to Wilson.
Wow, what a great feat from Bourbonnais. Just a bouncing puck. Lagunière couldn't corral it.
Shot by Juris off the skate of Fallon as Carr chases it into the corner. Jumps out into the back of the netting. Fallon trying to hold off Carr and Juris as Wilson helps him out. Coming around the back of the net is Juris. Malcolm stops that wraparound play. Wilson coming out of his own end, skating down the ice as he gets taken out. Puck now behind Union's end. Ghost is Bear holding it there. He seems to be fond of just sitting there with the puck, deciding what to do with it as he skates through the neutral zone. Young picks it up the boards to Cooper. There'll be a whistle on that play.
Yeah, 3:35 to go here. Just about a minute and a half old in this overtime session. Both teams seem to be skating well. Neither team seems to be shy there. A fantastic opportunity a moment ago for Antoine Lagunière. Feed from Clinton Bourbonnais out front. That puck just skipped a little on his blade. He couldn't get good wood on it.
So close. Most of the Yale fan section stand up on that one. O'Gara over on the boards, picked up. Nice poke check by Young as Young goes down to block that shot with his body. Young off the glass up to Agostino. Miller picks it up to get an offensive charge for the Bulldogs. Throws it on net, gloved by Grosnick. Weber going at it with Stewart in the crease.
Yeah, exactly. Miller perhaps looking across there to try and just fling that puck on the backhand to Nico Weberg, maybe for a tip in, maybe looking to hit it low off Grosnick's pads and have Weberg clean up the garbage. However they can get it done, I'm sure this Yale team would be content to get that winner here. Pick up 2 huge standings points.
Cooper on the faceoff for the Bulldogs. Wins it back to Duick. Duick over to Fallon. Fallon smartly throwing it back behind him away from Wilkins. Orzetti now in the corner. Coming out. Puck comes out to Carr through the neutral zone as he chooses to dump that in. Malcolm coming out aggressively on the play. Trying to pass as Fallon barrels through the Union players. Squirts out in front of the net. Cooper over to Duick. Gossesbear comes out, interception. Orzetti now over to Fallon. Fallon over the blue line, looking for a shot deflected off the skate of a Union defenseman. Gossesbear coming out of his own zone up to Carr. Carr throwing it in. Yet again stopped by Young. Young up to O'Gara, over to Bourbonnais. Quick turnaround for the Bulldogs. Bourbonnais with a shot just off the skate of Grosnick. Young looking for another shot blocked by Bodie. Wasn't trying to hold the blue line now as Ciampini comes down on O'Gara. Just wide of Malcolm's post. Out of the Bulldogs' end. 2 minutes left to play in overtime. Goes back in deep behind Malcolm's net as he corrals it. Bodie hard on the forecheck. Bourbonnais and O'Gara. Bodie gloves it down, throws it back into the zone. Young will chase it down. Looking to start something for the Bulldogs. Puck now over to Juris. He goes for a shot off the glove of O'Gara. Young off the glass, blocked by Union. Throws it up to Juris. Young keeping the puck away from the net as Miller now comes over the blue line. Over to Weberg. Weberg trying to backhand into the slot. Unsuccessful. Wilkins now with the puck blocked by Duick. Duick does not allow a breakout as Agostino now tries to get the puck from Coburn. Back out to Miller. Miller on the red line over to Duick. Duick to Agostino in the neutral zone. That one goes off Agostino's stick as it goes back to Fallon. Fallon to Duick. Duick turning away from pressure up to Milberg. We have an offensive rush by Novak as Fallon blocks that with his stick. Miller taking a Union player up through the neutral zone. Gossesbear coming out into his own zone. Decides to skate it uncontested. Wilson now picks it up. Wilson with a quick turnaround for the Bulldogs. Over Lightyear, shot and saved by Grosnick.
Wow, that was a bomb from Antoine Lagunier. You mentioned a moments ago, voted the player with the hardest shot on the Yale squad. That was a rocket right there. Grosnick doing a good job to snag that low slap shot off the ice. And you know, this has been a great overtime session, Adlon. This is one of those games that you hate that it has the potential to end in a tie. You want to see someone score that golden goal here.
Wilson tied up on the faceoff. Stewart comes in to pick it up. Stewart behind his own net, waiting for the clock to run down. Leaves it for his teammate. Coming back into Yale's end, Bourbonnais intercepts that one into Bourbonnais' chest. Simpson throws it in deep. Malcolm gloves it down. Young off the glass. Back over to Stewart. Stewart, Simpson. Simpson over the blue and shot goes
up into the netting there. Rob O'Gara did a good job to get his stick in that shooting lane. 8.1 seconds now left in the overtime session. All the guys skating bent over. Everybody looks gassed. Looks like Union's going to take their time out here. Coach Rick Bennett is going to signal the officials for that one as he wants his team to have the chance to draw up one last play in these final 8 seconds, perhaps win the draw, do something interesting off the face-off. But barring a goal here from the Dutchman in those final seconds, it's going to be a 2-2 draw here at Ingles Rink.
Definitely right, very dangerous play for the Bulldogs as the Dutchmen have a face-off right to the right of Malcolm's net. He'll probably want to put a left-hander on the net to maybe even just shoot it right off the face-off or draw it back to the point. Bulldogs will have to be wary of the Dutchman moving around off the face-off, trying to maybe get a backdoor shot.
And if you're Yale here, I think your goal is to either just scrum the draw right away and prevent anybody from coming out with the puck, or to win it right back and then keep the puck pinned along the boards in the corner and just prevent it, or prevent Union from having the chance to even get a shot on net.
Looks like they will put senior Kyle Bodie at center off the draw against Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais also getting a talking to from the referee. They do not like those face-offs. Bourbonnais ties up Bodie on the face-off. Puck comes out, shot and saved by Malcolm. Young gently pulling a player off of Malcolm.
Well, they won the draw there, or at least they scrummed it, and then Wayne Simpson came around, picked up the puck, and put it on Malcolm. Did a good job to hang on to that one there. We got 3.5 seconds now.
Face up again. Bourbonnais pushes it into the corner. Back in front is Malcolm to fend the puck away. There will be a 2-2 tie for the Elis here at home against the Union Dutchmen.
Well, Adlon, that feels like a pretty fair outcome from watching this game. Two teams both put forth good efforts. Union surged ahead early. Perhaps they jumped ahead of the Bulldogs a good bit here in the first half of the first period. But moving from the second half of this first period on, pretty even game, pretty balanced game. Both teams had those chances. Both teams scored. Both teams played well. If you're Yale, you have to be perhaps a little disappointed that your power play couldn't come through tonight. 0 for 8 here tonight. That's a sorry statistic to say the least, especially when you had that man advantage in the closing minutes of regulation. But nonetheless, a tie between these two teams is nothing to be ashamed of for either side. I don't think so.
No, definitely nothing to be ashamed of. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Adlon Adams here with Max Valenstein on Yale All-Access.
And I'd also like to take the time to thank our production crew in tonight's broadcast. Cameraman Taylor Stib, Patrick Ouziel, our producer tonight, Sam Dorward. We'd also like to advertise on Tuesday night coverage here on Yale All-Access as the Yale men's ice hockey team battles the UMass Minutemen from Ingalls Rink. For Adlon Adams and the rest of our crew, I'm Max Valenstein. Have a good night, folks.